It's a fact that the bigger the existential crisis, the greater our opportunity for expanding psychological insight and spiritual maturity. Despite the suffering and the horrors involved, major crises present a unique chance to clarify our authentic selves. I believe that if we can apply this process across society, we could pave the way for a greater and more peaceful collective future via conscious evolution, a term that I borrowed from the late great biologist Barbara Marx Hubbard. The journey I'm talking about represents contributing to the broader consciousness of humanity. Here, cultivating embodied presence, self-awareness, and intentionality becomes paramount, especially given that our society's leaders and big tech overlords are unlikely to guide us in this direction. Now, there was a vital idea taught to me many years ago by my wise spiritual teachers: cognitive responsibility. The ability to develop distance from our thoughts and emotional reactions so that we can observe them and disidentify from them. This concept is even more important in the digital age and the murky mindscapes of meme world. And if you don't know what meme world is, you're standing in it. Engaging in shadow work is an essential step towards self-awareness, stepping back and allowing yourself to see, hear, and feel the subterranean depths of your psyche, to begin to acknowledge that the darkness is us, not just them. A very simple tool I developed for this purpose, and which I outlined in my book Power and Presence, is noticing the trigger point, being mindful of what induces strong emotional responses in us as we surf or stomp around the net. The short version of this method is that just as you're about to swing your fist through the screen, or something like that, you remove your attention from what triggered you and shift it onto your body and its feelings, taking a few seconds to relax into that state of self-observation. What's great about noticing the trigger point is that when practiced regularly, it expands our sense of agency, and we begin to realize that the world and other people don't have as much power over us as we think. The aim of shadow work is to witness the mind and to be present with it without judgment. And then just wait as you observe that. In fact, if you can laugh at the shadow while assuming responsibility for it, you're free. One of the reasons why I develop these kinds of ideas I'm talking about here and in my books is because I've noticed a self-contradiction that permeates the liberal, progressive world of today. That is, we all too often espouse principles like compassion, justice, and inclusivity, but then fail hopelessly to embody them. In doing so, we inadvertently take the tribalism of yesteryear, including the biases and bigotries, and just voice them onto another group of subhuman others. So we just keep playing the tribalist game, bringing in another set of others to crap on, whereby we can feel morally and intellectually superior, spiritually superior. It's not that liberal progressive ideas are intrinsically wrong, but that we as individuals and as a collective often fail to live up to them. In essence, we become a bunch of whiny, self-entitled hypocrites, often tacitly or openly advocating violence and injustice, all for a good cause, of course. To collectively embody conscious evolution, we humans have to practice cognitive responsibility. And that entails recognizing the distinction between our actual current level of psychological maturity as individuals or groups and the degree of psychological maturity truly required for transformative change. So, basically, this involves admitting how far into self-delusion we have fallen. So, shadow work is intrinsically uncomfortable. Bridging the gap between where you think you currently stand and where you actually are necessitates deep self-work. But this is absolutely vital introspection that has to be practiced by everybody who truly believes in deep futures of the human species. At this point, I want to emphasize that it is within this gap between who we think we are and who we really are that drama, projection, and violence thrive. Self-delusion drives drama. Get a bunch of people like that together, and you've got a tribe, a group with a common enemy, an enemy which has to be eliminated. And remember, possessing an unobserved mind represents either a willing or unconscious surrender of your power to somebody or something else.